All right, are we live? I have no idea. Um, Hi, everyone. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Let me refresh my page here. We'll mute that. All right. Don't know if you guys can hear me. I would really appreciate some comments. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. It's a brand new setup. I am still extremely new to live streaming here. The microphone that I'm set up on is actually my Shure SM7B. It is not a USB microphone, so I've got it run through XLR cables and through all kinds of other stuff. My camera that I'm shooting on is my Sony camcorder in 4K. Uh, so I'm guessing that the video quality here is going to be much better than what it was last week. Um, but again, I have no idea if everything is going through. I hear it in my ears, but I don't actually see, I can't actually tell if everything is coming up and I'm broadcasting sound through the computer. So if you can hear me, there we go. Steve Miller says he can hear me fine. All right, out of curiosity, if you were here last week, does the audio sound better this week than what it did last week? I don't know. So, anyway, let me get back over to OSB Studio here so I can see myself in real time without the lag. All right, there you go. Actually, I didn't even know I could do this. There's a live chat right on there. Let's see. Sounds good the way you have it, but video looks great too. Thank you, Steve. All right, let's see. Topic of this video is, yeah, I screwed up. I did a set of rails. Some of you may have seen my previous video where I had started making a set of rails for an antique pool table. Well, I got through everything that I needed to get the profiles of all of the individual parts that consist of the rail assembly. Um, Things happened and I didn't get a chance to get back onto it right away. In the interim, we had an antique pool table that we had gone to go do some work on. Um, and the customer had, I told the customer that he needed to send his original pockets in to get uh, basically restored. There's a company out of New York that does pocket restorations. They'll take your existing pocket irons and they will completely reskin them in leather. I think they sandblast them, get all of the they get all of the rust off of them. You know, clean out the screw holes. You know, the bolt holes, all the threads and everything. Reskin them in leather, put new nets on them, everything like that. And the thing about these antique pockets is that they are specific to that table. And I tried to tell that customer, I said, look, you can't just go out and go buy a modern set of pockets and throw on this antique table. Um, and you know, he went ahead. He did it anyway on someone's advice. He had called them up, and they said, "No, it'll fit just fine, no problem whatsoever." Well, he gets the pockets in, and you know, I told him when we came back out to finish up the job, I said, "Look, these new pockets are not going to work." And he says, "Oh man, you know, can we just try it? Can we just try it?" I said, "All right, you know, that's fine. We can try it." Well, we get five of the rails on. We go to put the sixth one on. It ain't fitting. It's not gonna fit. There is uh, no amount of forcing, poking, prodding, anything that's gonna make these pockets work on there. They were off, and let's use the corner pockets for an example. All right, you've got a 40, and forgive me, we're going to have constantly this blinking in and out every so often. It's just the way the camera works. I don't know, it blinks. I don't know. Anyway, so with a set of pockets, they're basically on a 45-degree angle or a 90-degree angle from one side to the other. And if that is off, that angle is off, even just the smallest amount, it's going to throw everything else off. So if it's off by a 16th of an inch or even a 32nd of an inch, by the time you add that up between six pockets, it's going to be quite a bit. You could be a half inch off, anything from a quarter all the way up to an inch off or more when you go to put these pockets back on. Well, that happened in the interim while I was, getting back into making the set of rails for another customer. And it hit me. I have to have the rest of his pool table. He had given me the rails alone. I told him that's what I needed. He had given me the set of rails, and I was going to duplicate the set of rails. I stopped short of starting to cut them to length, and it's a good thing that I did. I had about roughly $500, maybe a little more, in materials and buying enough poplar for all of the underside of the rails and walnut, real walnut for the rail caps themselves. And like I said, I stopped short of cutting the rails to length. And it's a good thing I did because I didn't have the rest of the table. The thing about antique tables is that the perimeter of the slate is a set distance. It's a set, I know it's square, but there's still a circumference. It goes all the way around. And that outside perimeter of the table is a set amount of feet and inches and fractions of an inch. And that has to match up precisely with the inside dimensions of the rails. And again, had I cut those rails even a 16th of an inch off, if I'd have been even a 16th of an inch off on each rail, well, that adds up to 3/8 of an inch all the way around, in which case they won't fit. So you have to have the rest of the table, and I just don't have the facilities here to put together a table and work on it and make new rails and everything like that. So it's a good thing I did stop when I did, because it would have been a nightmare had I done the rails, finished them all out, inlaid new sights, inlaid a new nameplate, done all the the rubber on the rails, cover them, everything, the whole 9 yards, brand new set of rails, and get out there to install them. And I'm in New Orleans. He's just outside. He's right on the Mississippi-Alabama line. So that would have been a long way to go out to only find out that the rails won't fit. And again, it would have been a lot of wasted effort. But I say all of this because, as it says in the description, even the best of us screw up. I should have known better. I should have known, because I've made new sets of rails for tables before, and they come out perfect. But I have always had the rest of the table that I can use when making those rails. I can mock up those rails, put pockets against it, and see exactly where everything's going to line up, where everything's going to fall out. And like I said, it's a good thing I did stop, because he still has the option, and he still has the ability to take the rails from where I have them right now, bring them to another shop that has the that has the capabilities of doing it, and they can go ahead and finish it out. Another good thing is that the materials were actually bought almost a year ago, so I do know that the prices of materials have gone up drastically since those were bought. And it would have cost even more money had I if like I said, if I would have been off by even just a fraction of an inch, it would have been disastrous. So this is what I was getting to with this is that when it comes to doing your own pool table or any other major project, you can think through everything that you're going to do, but there's almost always going to be little issues and sometimes big issues that you just don't think about, and it happens to me, and it'll happen to you, it'll happen to everybody. um, have you ever gone to do a job? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever gone to do a job and you get into it and you catch it before you make a big blunder, or um, or did you actually go through with it, do everything, and uh, messed up the whole thing? Let's see. Sounds like he needs to get the. Oh, that was the other. Yeah, Steve. That was the other customer. Yeah, he did have the correct pockets, and he did end up sending them off, and got his original pockets redone. Um, but no, I'm talking about the table that I had started to do the rails on. Um, and like I said, I'm glad I stopped when I did, because that would have been that would have been just terrible to waste all that lumber. I mean, is there a chance I would have gotten it on the first try? Yes, there is. There's a real good, not a real good chance. There is a chance that I would have nailed it, and everything would have worked out fine. There's a much, much, much greater chance that I would have done it. I would have miscut something, because I'm using uh, the old set of rails, 100-year-old rails that by now are completely out of spec. And if I'd have had the table itself, the rest of the table to work off of, um, then I could have nailed. Then I definitely could have nailed it. But it just didn't cross my mind when I agreed to do the job. It just didn't cross my mind that, hey, Doug, you need the whole table in order to be able to do this. And I thought it was just going to be as simple as crank out and make a new set of rails. And no, it's okay. Reconnection successful. Don't know what happened there. Are you still with me? Somebody type in the comments. Are you still with me? Let's see, Steve. Not a table mechanic, but we've all been there, Doug. Things like that happen to the best of us. You were, maybe call it lucky, or your experience for stopping when you did. I think that may have been the case. Um, by the way, are you guys still with me? Just saw that chat pop up from Steve. Um, I don't know. There was just, yeah, we got a small glitch, but yes, we're still here. Okay, cool. Um, I don't know. Maybe there was something in the back of my mind that caught it. That I should uh, slow down a little bit and not just go gung ho and full metal jacket into making those rails. I'm like I said, and I really feel bad for the customer, because it's not often that I have to back out of a job like that, or that I take something on and I don't finish it up. Yep, there we go again. We're back. Huh. Let me see. How many people do we have on here? Let me get back over to. I'm frozen. Amy says I'm frozen. We got 7 people watching right now. Let's see. Am I still frozen? I shouldn't be. I am still trying to work out all the bugs in this this broadcast. Anyway, do you guys have any questions for me? I'll tell you, I really liked the format last week where we did the questions and answers and everything. I really like this format where I get to interact with you guys one on one. Um, you know, yeah, with the comments from the regular videos, yes, I can come back. I can think about it a little bit more, but I like the challenge of having to have to answer these questions off the cuff, you know. So ask me some questions. That's what I'm here for. By the way, to that customer, I know he watches my videos because he actually got to me. The customer with those antique rails, he got to me through my YouTube videos. And like I said before, I really want to. I have to apologize for taking on the job and not being able to finish it. It's not something I usually do. Usually, when we go to do a table, we David and I we get it done. As a matter of fact, this coming week we've got a table that's going up on the 27th floor of one of the high rises here, and that's not going to be fun, but we'll get it done. Thankfully, they have a freight elevator, and we'll have the opportunity to. We won't have to lug the slates up 27 flights of stairs. That would not be fun. Let's see, how many people do we have viewing right now? We have 6. Well, I'll be on here for a little while. Don't know what all we're going to talk about. Okay. Amy's in the other room watching. She's in the other room watching the live cast, the live stream, and apparently there was frozen, and she's texting me to let me know how I'm doing on here. Let me get back to OSB. So here's a question for you guys: which of my videos have you found most helpful? Um, I've been, I've done what I can to to be as thorough with all of my videos, um, trying to make sure that I'm putting out good content, correct content, showing people how to do the work themselves on their pool tables. And I realize, look, not everyone that watches the videos is gonna feel compelled to go out there and do this stuff themselves. It's hard work. Um, but am I actually giving um, thorough instructions? Do you feel as though my instructions are thorough and clear enough, um, and that the content is good? Um, I'm biased. I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna, when I look at my videos, I say, wow, that's the most handsome man I've ever seen in my life. I can see why my wife fell in love with me. Yeah, oh yeah, everything I'm saying in there is absolutely perfect because, well, yeah, I'm the one that's saying it. Of course, I think I'm right. Um, but and I think I'm doing a good job, but I don't know. I'm biased. Um, so let me know. Again, tell me in the comments. I There we go again with the glitches, the blinking of my camera. I'm gonna figure out how to fix that. Get over to the comments here. Nope, not that one. It's just Steve that's commenting. Anybody else? Hmm. maybe Saturday night, maybe Saturday evening isn't the best time to do a live cast. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm new to this. I don't know what the best nights for you guys or anybody for that matter. I don't know what the best night to do this is going to be on. I might come back. I might do this again tomorrow night. Just you know, basically the same video, tell the same story and everything. I don't know, but there we go. Cryotech. That's how I've watched. Very good and detailed. Well, thank you, thank you. Um, the how-tos I've watched were very good and detailed. Okay, I appreciate that. Um, yeah, I'm taking questions. I'm taking pool table questions. Don't ask me about pool sticks. Don't ask me about pool players. I'm not a pool player anymore. I used to be, but it's kind of like the auto mechanic that doesn't really want to be an Uber driver at the end of the day. Um, I got burnt out on playing pool several years back, but I haven't lost my passion for doing pool table installs. So I am more than happy to take some questions about pool tables, about brands, about how tables go together, how they come apart, issues that you've seen. Oh, that reminds me. Hang on, I gotta dig something out of my pocket. All right, so yesterday we went to Baton Rouge. We had a pool table that we had to pick up from Metairie, right outside of New Orleans, and bring it to Baton Rouge. And I didn't catch this. Well, we actually I caught it after we got the table disassembled and we got the frame down on the floor and we were getting ready to lift the frame out. But the brackets, it was a Brunswick Contender Series, 7 foot Brunswick Contender Series table, and two of the brackets that hold the legs on, um, were pulled away from the cabinet. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, well, what's going on with this? Why are these pulled away? And well, the customer had already bought the table from, my customer had already bought the table from the seller. It was their table regardless. So we had to just get it on, go ahead, get it out of there, get it loaded into the truck, and then we were going to go on to Baton Rouge and get it installed. I figured I would take a look at it when we got there. Well, we got there and I took a look at the brackets. You guys know what this is? Tell me in the chats. Do y'all know what this is? Oh, anybody know? Anybody want to take a guess? Nobody? All right, these are barrel nuts. Here, get it a little closer. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus in on it. These are barrel nuts. They are threaded on the inside. Okay. They're threaded, coarse thread on the outside, machine thread on the inside. And what this does is it screws into the wood and it gives you a place that you can put a regular bolt, machine type bolt into here. The wood was completely stripped out on two of the four. It's four bolts per bracket, and on two of the brackets, two of these were stripped out. And here David is. Come on, I wish this thing would stop blinking. Um, David was up underneath the table trying to take the pockets off. I saw the table wobbling, not wobbling, but wiggling a little bit. Um, and I didn't think too much of it at the time until after, and I saw the. All right, There we go. All right. So I didn't think too much of it until after we got the frame down on the ground, and I look at this, and these things were completely stripped out. Well, these weren't, but the wood was. And I mean, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. Is that the just the least little bit of lateral force on that table, and it was going to come down. So this is one of those things. Oops. This is one of those things that I will shut down a job in a heartbeat. If it's dangerous and there's the possibility that that table could fall down, I will stop the job immediately and tell the customer, look, I'm not working on this anymore, and unless you let me fix this, or unless you fix it, or you have somebody else fix it, whatever, it's gonna be fixed. Otherwise, I'm not touching the table. And it was, let's see, it was kind of scary thinking back on David being up underneath the table and nothing, no wood whatsoever holding these on there. The table could have just fallen at any moment. We're going to go ahead and fix it, and everything will be right by the time we're done. But for future, I told David on the way back from that job, I said, look, from now on, before you start, taking any staples out from pockets, check those bolts holding the brackets on. Check the rail bolts. Make sure, because that's scary. Pool tables are scary, guys. Let's see. Steve says, thanks for taking the time to create content. Your videos have given me a much greater understanding of what goes into recovering a pool table. Cool. That's, again, I say this all the time. That's what I'm here for. I love it. And I don't mind imparting my knowledge onto other people. Let's see. Michael Thebeau says, be thankful you didn't grind the space telescope backwards or forget the latch, the hold down, and the whole rocket fell over. Yeah, no kidding. Could be worse. It surely could. It could, because I could have destroyed, $500 worth of wood, plus, you know, 80 hours, 80 to 120 hours of my time to actually do it, plus the rest of the materials, finishing stuff out, ivory for new rail sites. Um, you know, let's see, Cryotech says, never mind, I found your video you did that explains it in detail. Thank you. Question withdrawn. Cool. Um, yeah, yeah. We've all done stuff like that. Um, hopefully it does, look, who was it? Somebody said one time that it, it, when if you're not making any mistakes, it means you aren't doing anything. Well, we all make mistakes sometimes. Hopefully, we make fewer and fewer as we get older, but it still happens. And like I said, I'm just glad I stopped before, or I'm glad I didn't go any further, because it could have been disastrous for all of that wood and money and everything. All right, so what other questions do you guys have? What questions do you guys have? Pick my brain. I love it. Pick my brain. Um, how many people do we have watching right now? Let's see. Only 5. Oh well. We had a few the other day. Last week we had, I think we had gotten up to 10 or 15, something like that at one time. Let's see. Cryotech. Even if you don't do the job yourself, it's good to know the right way it's supposed to be done when you hire someone to do it. Well, that's true. That's true. And when he does bring it to somebody else, if they go to tell him, well, it needs to be done this way, or it needs to be done that way. Yes, he does know the right way to do it, and um, yeah, yeah. So let's see. Um, I talked about this a little bit. I've been binging, or I had been binge watching a little bit the Johnny Depp trial. I thought that was hilarious. Um, um, and I got to watch what I say here. Um, I think that it's a win for survivors of domestic abuse, and I don't want to get all into it too terribly much, but I understand where Johnny Depp was coming from on that. I was in a similar situation myself at one point in time, and I know exactly where he's coming from, and it makes me feel good that somebody stood up and you know bucked the system. And hmm, okay, I'll answer your question in just a second, Joe. Um, it makes me feel good that that yeah, he had his story told. He got a chance to tell his story, and he was vindicated. So, all right, Joe says, how would you go about fixing those bolt anchors? I would use epoxy. All right, so these are quarter 20, and Brunswick uses four of these per rail or per leg bracket. What I'm going to do is I'm going to order some new ones, oversize. I'm gonna bump up, and I'm gonna order some 5/16. Um, order 5/16, and I'm gonna order the next size up from there, which I believe are 3/8. Um, and I will have whichever one works best. I'll order enough bolts and barrel nuts or anchors, whatever you want to call them. And then those should have enough uh, bite when it goes into the wood. But I'm also going to reinforce it, yes, with epoxy, and that should work just fine. Brunswick actually, they just went straight into the wood with this. You can probably see some of the wood still, yeah, still on the threads there. So yeah, just oversized, go with the next size or two sizes up. Use that along with some epoxy, should be fine. Let's see. Steve says, you just need to publicize your live streams a bit more. I saw it on my YouTube homepage, probably due to being a subscriber. Probably so. Um, yes, I do. And again, the whole live stream thing for me is brand spanking new. Um, I did a few tests last week because I had never done it before, and I was actually using the webcam on my laptop, using the audio from my laptop as well. I already had this camera here, my 4K Sony. I already had this microphone, the Shure SM7B. You know, these two pieces of equipment, 1,500 bucks between the two, and I already had them. And here I am. I'm using the webcam, the crappy webcam that comes with the computer, and the crappy microphone that comes with the computer. So yeah, I already had all of this stuff, and I did have to go earlier today and buy. Let's see, will this can I bring this up? This is. Can you see this? Right there. It is a audio interface so that I can get it onto the computer. Got that. Had to buy another interface for the HDMI coming out of the camera. Had to do all of that stuff. So, but the more I'm doing it, obviously, the better it's going to be. I know that the software that I have on here for doing the there we go again with the blinking. I know that the software that I have on my computer is more than capable of doing live stream with running stuff back and forth, um, flipping from screen view to back to the camera. It'll do all of that. Let's see. PVG44, you still wearing indie boots? Yes, I am. They are on my feet as we speak. Okay. Let's see. Joe says, I didn't get any notification either. I saw it on my YouTube homepage. I only missed the first 14 minutes, so I rewound it and watched at 2 times playback speed. You didn't miss much of anything other than me explaining how I screwed up. So let's see. The Motown Phenom. Hi, Doug. Sorry to ask this question again, but do you have any information about the pool tables that use marble instead of slate? All right. I've heard this question quite a few times. All right, slate. I have a piece cut. Okay, got a piece of slate cut right here. Slate is very, very, very cheap. In general, slate is very, very cheap. It's much more plentiful than marble. Um, it's much less expensive than marble. I have never in 30 years I have never seen a pool table that uses marble for the plate field. Um, if you've got a link, Motown, if you've got a link to the website that's saying that they're using marble, I'd like to see it because again, in 30 years, I have never seen a table that uses marble instead of slate. Slate is it's just so it's a part on the table that no first of all nobody ever sees. Second of all, there's no advantage to using marble as opposed to slate. Um, there's just no advantage to it. The only thing I can think of is that there is disadvantages, and the disadvantage would be it's just incredibly expensive. Um, let's see. Your content is really good, Doug. This is major impact. Your content is really good, Doug. You explain things the necessary detail. Huh? That's what I like. I like hearing that. Motown, can you in the comments here? Can you give me the link for that marble? Look, I'm not above being wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm not saying that. Well, I'm not saying that they don't make it. I've never seen it. I've never heard of it. And I can think it's made in Turkey by Zeki Bardolo. Let's see. Let me copy that. Let me get over here and let me look and see what I can find. I do that a lot too. All right. Pool table. Um, by Marvelous Zeki Bilardo Alibaba.com. Is this a table that you're looking to buy off of Alibaba? I'm looking for a website for them. Made in Istanbul. Pool table. Um, no, I need a link to it. Um, I need a link to it. Let's see. Major impact. Doug, can we email you questions? My question is kind of long to type into this small chat box. Sure, you can. Uh, let's see. If you go to billiardsofneworleans.com, I should have an email us or contact us page on there. I don't want to just blurt it out on here. Um, So yeah, just go to billiardsofneworleans.com and you know you can email me through there. If I email you, if I emailed it to you, could you read through it and summarize what I'm asking when you answer for everyone to hear? Sure. Gray dude, you're being probed. Thanks. Um, no, I don't. I'm not the one that generally gets probed. All right, this is the table I'm talking about. Let's see. Still not seeing it. How's the audio? For the rest of you guys out there, how's the audio on here? Does it sound like I have my radio voice? This is their website. Okay, I'm still waiting. Let me copy and paste the link I posted above. All right, let me get back over here to YouTube on here. Yeah, I'm not seeing a link on here, so I'm going back through the comments here looking for um no, I'm not seeing a link on here. All right, so PVG 44, great. I guess that means my audio's coming in great. Okay. Because last week the audio was terrible. It's a good computer, but man, they put some bad microphones on these things. You know, I love doing pool tables, but I find I'm getting, oh, my brother Dan. It is Dan. Damn it, Dan. For everybody that's looking through the comments, Dan Giles. He also has a YouTube channel on here. It is Dan Giles, oddly enough, and Daniel does home improvement, apartment maintenance, that kind of thing. If you need to know how to change out the heating element on your water heater, yeah, he's the guy to ask. Or how to wire a light switch, that kind of stuff. He's actually the one that got me into doing the YouTube channel. So yeah, double D, double D. Daniel, how does my audio sound? And how is the video too? Is it choppy? Is it? I keep getting the blinking on here because the camera it keeps blinking about every minute or so. But and I got to figure out how to keep it from doing that. How to just keep it on all the time. But the automatic lens cover on this thing just keeps closing off and then coming back up open. So Motown, did you ever find their website? Because I'm not seeing it. Um, and did you email it to me or anything? Because again, I am I am genuinely curious if there is a company out there that's selling a pool table using marble as a playfield. I am genuinely curious to know uh, who they are because, as I said before, marble is just so expensive. Yeah, YouTube doesn't allow the link. Yeah. Marble is just so much more expensive unless you just bought like the least expensive marble you can find. And see, this is the thing about marble. Italy has both marble quarries and they have slate quarries. Let's see, Valley Dynamo, and a few other manufacturers out there will actually import their pool table slate from Italy. I know there are quarries for both, but again, slate is so much more prevalent all across the globe. Every single continent out there has slate. Now, not all slate is from every continent can be used. The major producers of slate for pool tables are going to be China, number one, and don't think for a minute that Chinese pool table slate is bad. It is not. It is excellent stuff. Um, Chinese slate, Brazilian slate, and Italian slate. That is going to be your three main areas that you're going to get slate that is good for pool tables. Now, we have slate in two different major areas here in the United States. We have Vermont, where you get Vermont green slate, and you've got Arkansas, where you get slate. In England or Great Britain, the United Kingdom, there is Welsh slate. Not very good for making pool tables, but strangely enough, it's good for making sharpening stones. Um, let's see. The ball bounce would be impacted on the table. Marble versus slate. Play could be different. Slightly different. Not that much. It's not very often that you intentionally want um, the ball to leave the table. That's not typically what you want. Um, yeah, I don't think it's marble either. And if it is probably just a novelty because it is going to get covered over with cloth. You're not going to see it. The only time you would ever see it is if you were up underneath the table. Now, what I have seen, and I started to say this before, what I have seen is slate with marble veins that run through it. That is not uncommon at all. And you see it much more prevalent. It's much more prevalent in Italian slate than what it is any other slate, um, at least pool table slate. Uh, I don't know if Vermont green slate has any marbling that runs through it. I do know that Vermont green is a much more dense slate. It's much harder and much more dense. Um, but like I said, I don't see any real advantage. Is my audio back? Is my audio back now? Let me know. Should be back on now, huh? Again, little glitches that I gotta work out all of this. Um, there we go. There we go. And there's the blinking again. I see that a lot. I told you guys I was watching the Johnny Depp trial. I was actually watching it on another channel called Rakita Law, and I think I think he must be using a similar type of camcorder because it was like every minute or every 2 minutes, his camera would do the same thing, just back, you know. All right, who else has got some questions for me? I love the questions. Oh, by the way, guys, don't forget about the super chat feature that is on YouTube. If you want to help contribute to this channel, and you know it does go to pay for um, audio equipment, video equipment, that kind of stuff. I still haven't broken even on all the money that I've put out on audio and video equipment. So if you want to help out this channel, if you feel as though the content that I'm giving you is worth anything, feel free and to you know, hit that super chat button or hit the thanks button on one of my other videos. It all goes to help fund the channel. Like I said, I still, after being up for a year on YouTube, still have not broken even for all of the equipment that I've had to buy to be able to put out videos that are better than everybody else's. At least I think they're better than everybody else's. I think I give more information. I don't think that I leave stuff out. So, you know, if you can see your way through to, or see your way clear to doing a super chat or to doing a super thanks, I really appreciate it. Had one last week for $8, and who was that gave that to us? Let me see. I'd have to go back and I'd have to see, but we had one $8 super chat last week, and it was very, very much appreciated. It's always very much appreciated. Okay, Joe, are you going to do any more shoe videos? Probably not. And I hate to say it, but no, I probably will not do any more shoe videos. There's, if you like shoe videos, the two guys to do I'm sorry, to do shoe videos is going to be Beato's Leatherworks #1, and the Elegant Oxford is #2. Look, Steve and Preston, they're just they know everything about shoes. I know a little. I don't. I would rather. I would rather put out the content for pool tables, which is something I know like the back of my hand, and leave shoes up to the guys that know shoes like the back of their hands, and that would be Steve and Preston. All right, Premier Billiard. Let's see. Let me copy this. Let me see. Let's get back over to Google and see what that is. Paste and search. And I'm probably gonna have to. Yep, translate. I'm not gonna read Turkish. External dimensions. Let me see. Can I pull up a screenshot of this? I know there's a way I can do it. Let's see. I know there's a way I can do this. Dan Giles, $1.99. Thank you, brother, man. That's my brother. I'll send you a pair of shoes for it. Thank you, Daniel. Let's see. Let's see. Media source, window capture. Is that it? Video capture device, text, scene, media source, display capture. There we go. Let's see. Let's see if we can do it. Oh, I know you guys are seeing all of that. Let's see. Let's get over to here. All right. So this is the Premiere Pro American table that is put out by Ziki Bigliardo. Now, let's see, external dimensions. 285 by 160 centimeters. Playground, 254 by 127. Side doors and legs are covered with first class laminate. Handrails are MDF with brown polish. First class imported patina. Okay, imported patina. How do you import a patina? I am looking for something on here that says the word marble. Products, pool tables, American, and we'll just Premier Pro American. Or is that the one we're on? Okay. Is this where you're getting the word marble? Because if it is, I would venture to say that that's probably something that is lost in the translation. Um, yeah, that's probably something that's getting lost in the translation. Um, and the word marble and the word slate. As a matter of fact, well, we can do this. Let's try something here. Let's go back over to display capture. All right. We're gonna go back over to here. We are gonna go to Google and we're gonna go to translate. And we're gonna say English. Yes, look at there. Selling shit and buying shit. That's what I put on there. All right, we're going English and we're going to translate it. No, 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 no. We're going to translate it to Turkish. We're going to put the word slate. And then we're going to copy this word. And then we're going to go back in the other direction. So we're going to go Turkish to English. Paste. It does translate directly. It could very well be just some other form of translation. It may be one of those languages where context of the word means it will change the context will change the meaning of the word, and it could very well be that that's what it is, and the word that they're using there ends up getting translated to marble in English as opposed to slate. So, does that help any? Does that help any? I don't know. Are we back on? Can you guys see me? Am I back up? Because I'm looking. That's all right. Sorry to take. By the way, are you guys looking at me now, or are we still doing the? Are you guys getting the mosaic of my screen? Oh, now I'm back up. Oh, that's how you do that. Okay. I don't know. See, I'm new to all of this. Okay, I'm back. I'm I am so new to all of this. And it's cool. Let's see how long have we been going for so far? An hour. Okay. Any other questions for me? We'll probably wrap it up. Much appreciate your help. No problem. That's what I'm here for. Any other questions for me before we sign off for the evening? I haven't signed off. I'm still here. I guess nobody's gotten any other questions. Well, here's your assignment for next week. I'm gonna do another broadcast like this, another live stream like this next week. Uh, don't know if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday. I'm still trying to, again, still trying to figure out what's going to be the best day, everything like that. So if what I want you to do is over the week, think about any questions that you have for me, and I mean bombard me with questions. I like answering them. I know I'm probably rambling on, but look, I got roughly an hour to fill here, and I don't mind looking things up. I don't mind doing this kind of stuff. It's good content for me, for my channel. It shows that I'm here for you guys. So anyway, I guess I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. If we got no more questions, and you got your homework for next week, think of some questions to ask me, um, and I guess we'll catch you guys next week. Later, Brother Dan. Y'all take care. Have fun at church tomorrow. I look forward to seeing your live stream for church tomorrow, Daniel. Strippers may get you more views. Yeah, that's true, but I'm not hiring strippers. I think I'd get kicked off of YouTube. Thanks for the stream, Doug. My pleasure. Come up with some questions for me for next week. Might have some pictures. We're doing a couple of jobs this week that might very well be worthy of some photos. So, oh, and I do have the topic, the main topic for next week, and it involves leveling your pool table. So uh, if you're interested in your pool table getting leveled, or things having to do with your house for pool table leveling, be sure to come back next week and we'll talk about that then. Anyway, you guys take care, and we will see y'all later. Daniel, thank you again for the $1.99 there. I owe you a drink. I'll talk with y'all